All right, folks, let's go ahead and welcome Billy Wilmot of Mystic Revealers to the show. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, man, everything is great. Thanks for having me. Wonderful to be able to reach out to your fans and listeners. Enough love from Jamaica, from the Mystic Revealers. Billy Mystic in the place.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to come on. We definitely appreciate it. We are really, really, really looking forward to be able to talk to you. And thanks to Martinez for setting everything up. Big shout out, Steve, man. Much love, brother. All right, so the Mystic Revealers have always blended roots reggae with a modern energy. How do you keep that balance alive in your new music and live shows, especially heading into this upcoming tour? I know you're going over to Germany. Is that right?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing Germany. Hopefully
Wow.
we're going to pick up some more shows in Spain. We have some studio work we want to do over there. Maybe do a dub session or two while we're over there. We're not going for very long. This is part of our promotional push
Sure.
for next year, really. Showing the people that we figure that Reggae Jam Festival is a prime platform for us to reintroduce our presence in the European market, to show people that yes, we are bookable and we are there for shows. So next year we hopefully we'll be doing an extensive world tour, including the North and South America as well as Europe and Africa. So we have to show the people that we're available and we're bookable
Yep.
and we're still who we are.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. 20 years. It's a while, man. I know Germany has a pretty strong reggae scene. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to kind of sharing with the fans over in Europe while you're on this tour?
Well, you know what? The- We always were a group with a deep message. All our songs
Yes.
were inspired when they were written. They were not like, we need a hit song. What are we gonna
Right.
do? We were singing about crisis situation in the world. Singing about injustice. We were singing about
Sure.
cries for justice and this type of thing. So we realized that our songs seem to be even more relevant today than they were 30 years ago. You know,
Amen.
the
Yes,
message, the
sir.
message, it hasn't changed. We still find that when we were doing these songs, we thought that, wow, we'll do these songs and within a year or two, the world will change as a result of what we're bringing to the forefront. But
Right.
we look at it and the world is like going further down the tubes right now. And
Yes,
people are
sir.
reaching out. Young people are reaching out. Young people want to hear something sensible, something that makes sense, something that positive. And our message has always been like that. So we have survived from those days till these days, and we have a track record now. We have a number. We've done a number of albums. We were around in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000, up until now. We're still around. We haven't been touring. We haven't been doing much recording, but we've heard the cry of the people that, boy, we need Mystic Revealers now more than ever, even especially since reggae music has lost over the past few years so many of our iconic
Sure.
artists. It's been a major blow. So it's like Mystic Revealers are here, and we are from the era, and we did make good music, and maybe we weren't as exposed at the time because it was the time of the crossover from reggae to dancehall, and a lot of our
Sure.
stuff got sidelined and we weren't played extensively on the radio because everybody was playing dancehall, and our reggae thing at the time, 30 or 40 years ago, felt like it's a changing of an era, musical era, and our stuff was the old stuff. But now
Right.
here we are, 30, 40 years later, when people are sick and tired of shaking their booty and burning
Yeah.
$100,000, pouring, washing their car with Hennessy, all this
Right.
type of thing. It's like the young people realize that there's more to life than this, and Mystic
Amen.
Revealer is like the medicine that is coming to soothe the illness. So we feel very confident about the message that we have to bring to the people in Europe, and we think that they are ready for it. And we are confident in what it is that we are going to say to them, because the message has been remained one and the same from those times until this time. So we're not worried about the message. finding a message. We already have our message, and we think that this is the moment for it to be broadcast, you know. And we give thanks for the opportunity through Reggae Jam Festival in Germany, you know, who opened the door and allowed us to enter into Europe at this point in time when there is so much confusion in the world, you know.
Sure.
There's got to be a better way.
Yeah, or
Absolutely, man. It's right on. You know, and I actually say that at the intro of my podcast. You know, I'm like, the message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records came out in Jamaica. And you're exactly right. If we ever needed it now, or if we ever needed it, it's definitely now, everywhere. But, you know, especially the states could use this message. You know, I think the youth need to get back to the message of roots reggae and what it's all about. You're exactly right, man. So thank you so much for sharing that answer. That was absolutely incredible, and that's exactly what the show is all about: bringing forth that revolutionary message of reggae music to the world. So, your role in Jamaica surf culture is legendary. Can you kind of share how you work the Jamnesia Surf Club and especially your surf program? How it's impacted the kids and kind of your own life?
Well, I was a surfer many years before I even got into music. I've been playing in the waves out front my house here since the
Yeah.
60s, you know. And surfing has been my extracurricular activity through life, coming up all the way teenage years, right up until I got into music, you know. And so it's been running parallel in my life always. You know, I've always been surfing, always interested in surfing. But what happened was when the digital music started to take over and the music industry was very shaky and there were no more record shops on the corners anymore, and there was there was no record companies signing bands to send them on tour so they could sell thousands of copies of vinyl records. That all sort of dried up, and that cash flow wasn't realistic anymore. You know, a lot of acts got dropped from labels, and it got really tight for musicians to really continue in the way that they had become accustomed to administrating their career in the existing musical industry framework. So when this digital era came in and people stopped buying records, people were downloading records, people were buying your album on cassette and buying 2 dozen blank cassettes or 100 blank cassettes, and they could buy a tape deck from Japan that
Yep.
had high speed dubbing, and
Dubbing. Yeah.
you know, and they just sold more blank cassettes than recorded cassettes in those days. You know, it was a boom business for those people, and it was really ripping off all these musicians, providing a
Sure.
loophole, you know. So at that time, Mystic Revealers was a self-contained band. It wasn't Billy Mystic and a group of musicians. It was Mystic Revealers, and we went on the tour, on shows and on tour with our full complement of musicians. And the music industry wasn't able to carry that anymore. There wasn't enough money flowing through the record sales department of the industry, you know. It dried up to a great extent, and that's how we ended up not we were dropped from our record label. Our contract wasn't renewed. It was very difficult, so we came
Sure.
off of the road at that time. That was probably about early 2000s, and I still had a family. I had my 5 kids to look after, and we had to pay bills and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And
well, Jenny.
by running around the world through music, and because I was a surfer the whole time, when I went to California and when I went to Florida, East Coast, West Coast, when we toured South America, Central America, when we went into the Caribbean and saw what surfing was, because up until that point, I was only surfing in Jamaica. I didn't know what surfing was like anywhere else. And then
Right.
traveling and seeing what it was like when we went to California and saying, wow, surf capital of the world. Let me check it out. And then go down to Huntington Beach and had a half day on the tour and see everybody out in the water surfing crap waves, you know, and saying,
Right.
wow, in Jamaica, we wouldn't even paddle out on a day like this. And there's 100 people out there, and three
Yeah.
quarters of them, three quarters of them can't even surf. You know, in Jamaica, it's a
Yeah.
different reality. You know what I mean? We only saw surf magazines with pictures of perfect pipeline and
Yeah.
Uluwatu and all these exotic barreling lefts and rights and then when you did see a picture of Huntington Beach, it looked exactly like that because it was the best day of the year, and a million photographers took 2 million pictures, you know,
Yep.
and and we realized that wow, it's not always like it looks in the magazine. It's not like that every day at all. And then we realized that wow, we have great waves in Jamaica, and I started turning things over in my mind and say a lot of people as surfers would love to come to Jamaica, but they don't even realize that
There's
they can
waves.
surf in Jamaica because there's waves. So what we
Right.
did, we said, let's let's start looking into surfing as an option for another tourism product for
Sure.
Jamaica. And my kids, growing up with my surfboards, got very good, and I didn't realize how good they were until I traveled. And while in California, went down to the beach and saw a Volcom blowfish surf contest going on, and especially for little kids. And I realized that my kids would blow all of these kids out of the water, So that got me interested in. But my kids are going to be into surfing. And what is surfing in Jamaica? It's a non-existing sport. All young
Right.
children develop positive attitudes and things from being involved in an organized sporting activity. They learn
Right.
camaraderie. They learn the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. They learn how to handle themselves when they're under a lot of scrutiny and criticism and competition and bad feelings, and learning to deal with things in life and having a coach there to encourage them and to point out what they need to work on, and as a result of working hard, seeing improvement in what they're doing. So organized sporting activity is very good for young children. But my kids got into surfing, and then they didn't want to go to football. They didn't want to play cricket. They never wanted to do any other traditional sports. They just wanted to surf every day. And
Right. Amen.
I realized that, you know what, this isn't good because they're missing out on organized sporting.
Right.
And so I said, well, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to form the Jamaica Surfing Association, start some competition, start training, have a national team, send a team out to compete in international events and this sort of thing. So that's how I sort of formalized my thing now, because I was at this space in the music and I was able to focus on the surfing and get the kids into it and their friends into it. And we had a national team. We had the Surfing Association. We sent kids all over the globe to go surf, represent Jamaica at the International Surfing Association events all over the world. And we sort of got branded the godfather of Jamaican surfing as a result of that, And
It's absolutely
surfing
fantastic.
is a wonderful thing for children and human beings in general. And one more thing, when we always look at surfing, when you're sitting in the water surfing, your back is to the land and you're looking out to the horizon from whence coming all your opportunities. The waves are opportunities in life. When you turn
Amen.
around and face the land, you can only see as far as the first building on the beach or the mountain that comes
Right.
down to the coast. You can't see any further. But when you look out to sea, you can see the future. You can choose to paddle left or right to get in the lineup and to be in the position to get that perfect wave, So when you
Yep.
even look at it like theologically, like a religion, there
Yes.
is examples you can learn from just partaking in the physical act of surfing that you can translate into your day-to-day life and the way in which you approach being who you are in a regimented manner. So surfing is
Absolutely.
great like that,
Yes, 100%. I actually grew up surfing in Charleston, South Carolina. I loved it. Did it my entire young life. Then into my adult life, lived on the beach. Started surfing the longboards a little bit, but yes, 100%. It is very spiritual, and I like how you said, every wave is an opportunity, but also if you let that perfect wave go, it's the same thing in life. If you let that perfect
You missed
opportunity
it.
go,
It's
so.
gone forever.
If you see something beautiful, go after it, paddle into it, jump up and make it yours, because it's exactly right. Once it's gone, it's on the beach, and there's never two of the same wave,
No, yeah.
Absolutely. So it seems like your surf camp carries the same spirit as your music, which is very revolutionary. That's a beautiful thing, man. Um,
Thank you.
so
Thank
thank
you.
you for, yeah, thank you for sharing that. Now, mash down apartheid and your revolutionary tracks like that still definitely hit hard today. Are you going to be bringing all those classic anthems back on your tour,
Well,
or
well,
yeah,
of
you have
course.
new stuff too?
Of course, we have a new album, but we're not
Yes.
focusing. We know that people know the old stuff. We have to give people,
Yeah.
if it took people 40 years to get to realize that they need Mystic Revealers, it's going to be pretty difficult to release a new album 4 years ago and
Right.
expect people to be all over it already.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it a little time, but we're going to perform maybe one or two tracks from that latest album.
Sure.
Um, but it's really about the message and it's the world we're living in, the things that we're witnessing. It's like revelation unfolding in front
Sure.
of our eyes. Things are
Absolutely.
happening on a global level that when I was a young teenager taking my first steps into Rastafari, the things that are happening today seem like things that would happen long after I had passed on. It seems so
Sure.
far away. And we're witnessing it today. We're witnessing the apostate church. We're witnessing the wars and the rumors of war, the earthquake in diverse places, the pestilence and the famine, the pollution. I mean, all these things that the Revelation told us would be coming in the last days. We're living and seeing them. You know what I mean? So
I do.
really and truly, it's amazing that our songs, we don't have to write some new songs
Right.
about it.
It's still as valid today as it was when you wrote them.
Yeah, yeah. Old men are peeping through their windows. See the young men fighting in the streets. Children
Yeah.
planning revolution while their parents fast asleep. Our life is
Yep.
before us. Their future is our history. We're too young to remember the good old days, so we'll shape our destiny because we're the young revolutionary. Now me's a old man. I write them song that when me was a young revolutionary. Now I have to
Yes.
say, old men peeping through their windows, see the young men fighting in the street. And you're the young revolutionaries. I know me have to try inspire people, but I'm not a young revolutionary anymore. And I didn't believe that I would become this age and still realize that the world is still currently in need of young revolutionaries. So I want to big
Yes.
up people like Traore over in Burkina Faso and what he stands and represents for the world today. We salute him and give thanks for his influence and his alternative view of
Right.
what's possible for the people of Africa and the world.
Absolutely, and that's why I love reggae music so much. At a very young age, I was involved in a lot of revolutionary groups, social and environmental. And I am 47 years old, and I still carry the flag of revolution
Nice,
because
nice. Give thanks.
and that's why I love reggae music. One of my favorite quotes is, reggae music is the last bastion of the people's army. It's one of our
All
last
right.
weapons that they haven't taken away from us yet. You
True,
know.
true.
And we
Yeah,
and we
man,
can
agree.
actually use that to fight. We can actually use that to fight, but we need to be able to hold on to that weapon of reggae music and use it, for the reason that it was created, which is to bring about social change, bring about justice, and it's in the hands of anybody who wants it. It's absolutely free, but the youth need to realize that it's there, and sometimes it's not all about fun, like you said, and washing a car and liquor, you know what I mean, and hot girls and all. I mean, that is what it is, but there's time to get serious, and it's definitely now. You know what I
True.
mean? So I certainly agree with you. And so for maybe there's new fans that are just discovering Mystic Revealers, what's one message that you hope they carry home after seeing you overseas and after even listening to this podcast? There's going to be people that are hadn't heard of you before. What's one solid message that you could tell people that they can hold in their hearts and carry with them forever?
That we say every every aspect of life has a life hack, you know,
Right?
and the skill about surviving in the world, is about trying to learn the hacks and learning the game and going through and coming out with a positive result. So
Yep.
I would want people to know that I would repeat to the people what my father repeated to me that helped me a lot. And it was that, Billy, you know, I've discovered that it's better when I expect the worst of people. Because I found out that from time to time, I get pleasantly surprised. You know, so what I would say is, you know, do your thing, believe in your thing. You know what I mean? Stand up for that which is right. You know?
Yes.
Speak out for those less fortunate than yourself. Find that compassion
Amen.
in yourself to do that which you know inside of you is right, which the voice of the Lord speaking in your ear tells you, and you know and can confirm that this is something honorable, just, and worthwhile doing. Seek those moments to shine. You know, those are the moments to shine. To shine when you stand up for something positive, for something that would you put your neck on the block? Would you forfeit your life for it? This is how you have to believe about the things you believe in, and not selfish belief,
Yes.
but collective, secure belief. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Compassionate belief. You know, knowing
Yes.
that if I die, 1,000,000 will live better. Then what is it? I willingly give my life if 1,000,000 people will live better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That kind of compassion. You know,
Amen.
when you're, so that would be the message. You know, to do what you can for those less fortunate than yourself.
That's beautiful. That's why we started our nonprofit. You know, me and my wife made a decision that all we were going to do for the rest of our lives is help other people, and that in itself is revolutionary. A lot of people, you know, you don't have to be, you know, trucking up a hill with a backpack, you know, and it doesn't have to be an armed revolution. If we just all
No.
started looking out for each other and compassionately helping other people, the world would change. It
Yes,
certainly would.
a revolution of the mind. You know,
Yes.
revolution of the
Amen.
heart.
Yes, that's exactly right, man. And that is beautiful. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you're very, very, very busy. Thank you,
My
Martinez,
pleasure.
for arranging this, man. That was an absolutely beautiful interview. It was right to the point. Everything you
Sure.
said was absolutely astounding. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I
Yeah, it
cannot
was our
wait
pleasure.
to share your message with our fans and with the world. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Billy.
man.
Billy Wilmot of Mystic Revealers. Thank you so much,
Respect.
and have a safe trip. I
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
wait to talk to you again after your tour and see how everything went, man.
Yeah, man, of course. And I'm sure that they will want to capture as much of it live while we are
Yes,
there. So there should be recordings
Stream it
and
live,
streaming and
yeah.
all sort of thing, because it's been 35 years since we touched the European continent, you know. So it's gonna be exciting.
that's beautiful, man. I can't wait to see all the footage. I wish I could buy a ticket and fly over to Europe, but maybe next time.
Yeah,
But
you can fly over virtually, you know.
Yeah.
amen.
Click it. Click
there's-
and be there.
Click and be there.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for once again for taking the time out of your day. You're an absolute blessing, man, and I can honestly say we love you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do, man.
Thank you very much
And, yes,
for the lovely.
you have an absolute fantastic night. Thank you so much.
One love.
Yeah, man.